Prognosis and follow-up on syphilis. Syphilis has an excellent prognosis if treated early and a poor prognosis if treatment is delayed. Prognosis means the expected outcome of a disease in the future. In other words, it means what will happen to the patient, how well or bad the disease will turn out, whether the person will recover, worsen, or have long-term damage. The difference between diagnosis and prognosis. Diagnosis means which disease do you have, and prognosis means what will happen next. For example, if one have malaria, the diagnosis is the malaria, while the prognosis is how well or bad the malaria affect the person. So prognosis is good if treated early and the person recovers fully, and prognosis is bad or poor if treatment is delayed, leading to severe illness and death. So prognosis is the likely future outcome. Prognosis in syphilis. Early treated syphilis leads to good prognosis, that is complete cure, and late untreated syphilis lead to poor prognosis, that is organ damage and disability. Prognosis is a medical term that describes the expected outcome and future course of a disease. Prognosis is what we expect will happen to the patient over time. Prognosis refers to the likelihood of cure, risk of complications, and long-term health outcome after treatment. Syphilis prognosis depends on the stage at diagnosis, timeliness of the treatment, adequacy of follow-up, and the presence of complications like neurosyphilis and HIV and others. At primary syphilis, with treatment, that will be complete cure, no long-term complication, and blood tests normalize over time. But without treatment, the disease will progress to secondary syphilis. That would be excellent prognosis if treated early. At secondary syphilis, with treatment, that will be full eradication of the infection. Symptoms may resolve completely and there will be no permanent damage. But without treatment, the disease will progress to latent and tertiary syphilis. There would be very good prognosis with timely treatment. At latent syphilis, with treatment, infection is eliminated and progression is prevented. But the limitation here are a blood test may remain positive for life in the case of treponemal test, and there may be no visible improvement to judge clinically. So there may be good prognosis with treatment, but it requires follow-up. At tertiary syphilis, with treatment, further damage is stopped, but the existing damage may be permanent. For example, dementia may persist, vision loss may be reversible, and heart damage may remain. Here, there will be guarded prognosis with treatment. At neurosyphilis, with early treatment, there will be partial or full neurological recovery. But with late treatment, there is likely permanent disability, and expected outcome depend on how early treatment begins. There are various factors that affect prognosis. We have good prognostic factors and poor prognostic factors. Good prognostic factors include early testing and early diagnosis, early treatment, correct penicillin therapy, adherence to the therapy, and regular follow-up. These are good prognostic factors and they should be ensured. Poor prognostic factors include late treatment, neurosyphilis, complications, cardiovascular involvement, HIV co-infection, and missed follow-up. These are poor prognostic factors and they should be avoided and prevented. So regular follow-up is essential to confirm cure, to prevent treatment failure, and to identify infection. For serological follow-up, the tests used are non-treponemal tests like venereal disease research laboratory and rapid plasma reagin with expected response like fourfold decline in titers within 6 months, that is early syphilis, and within 12 to 24 months, that is late syphilis. For example, before treatment may be 1:32, but after treatment may be 1:8 or lower. Follow-up schedule include 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, or 24 months for late syphilis. That's what is called serological failure. This serological failure occurs when the titers do not fall or when the titers rise again. The causes of these serological failures are treatment failure, poor adherence, HIV co-infection, and reinfection. Follow-up in special cases. For example, in neurosyphilis, cerebrospinal fluid examination is repeated. Neurological recovery should be monitored and longer follow-up is needed here. And also, testing during pregnancy should be repeated and future outcomes should be monitored. This is to prevent congenital syphilis, the passage of syphilis from the mother to the fetus. And also, there should be more frequent monitoring for HIV co-infection. So, when it comes to syphilis, healing of symptoms does not mean healing of the disease. Syphilis is curable and preventable, and complete follow-up is mandatory. Regular follow-up confirms cure, and this regular follow-up proves success in treatment. And again, you must ensure that your partner is free from this syphilis. There should be safe sex or abstinence. But the problem is, how do you know the safe sex if you don't know the reliability of a condom you are using, or if you don't know that condom can burst during sex? So how do you know the safe sex? That is the issue. Despite this condition I mentioned, condom is still strongly recommended. It can give you protection, but it doesn't guarantee 100% protection. But it is still recommended. Protection and prevention is the first before treatment and cure. Prevent this disease from coming into your mucosa. If you can't control sex, if you can't control your sexual urges, apply safe sex. But there are risks it entails. If this video is helpful, share to others so that they can learn. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. Share this video. See you next time.